When I was 17, 18 or so, I went into a bookstore called Genesis Bookstore, and it was a Genesis creative moment. I looked for, I was looking for astrology, especially, but stumbled upon anthroposophy, and that led me on its own journey. And I ended up in Foyer Michael in France, geographically in the middle. Here I was born geographically in the middle of Canada, in Winnipeg, Manitoba, in a place called Saint Boniface, Saint
Mm.
Boniface, um, the patron saint of Germany. I learned, and here I was studying anthroposophy in France, middle geographically of France, and learning to know this other point of view, which I associated with Goethe, which I associated with German idealistic philosophy, and all of that was all very intriguing. In the middle of all that, I heard about the Christian community and went to 3 or 4 of the Eucharistic celebrations that were offered in a nearby place. And I scratched my head. I was interested. It felt in hindsight, only in hindsight, like a
Mm.
moment. Um, because I said to myself, there's something living, there's something alive here. I like these folks. Something is calling me. I'll come back to it.
It wasn't
Thinking,
it wasn't the moment, but there was
thinking,
something there. Yeah, a seed.
well, I was thinking, oh, next year,
Next year, okay.
year after. No, no. As fate would have it, I was quickly involved in family life, kids, um, got involved in the world of education, and went back to Canada. Didn't come to France until much, 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 much later. So I was involved with world of education rather than the
Mm.
community. And there was a bit of an impulse on a while, but it was not tied to anything that I latched on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's through experiences through world of education that eventually led me to consider the Christian community through the pandemic. I mean, before the pandemic, I was involved in a public school setting of world of education in French that made it so that I had to not say the word Christ in classroom. And it's a bit of a like a little thing. Oh yeah, of course, Mark. Yeah, just don't talk about God or don't say Jesus Christ. Don't say that word. Don't say that. And it's easy. Why would that be difficult?
Mm.
But it's like in the fairy tales when you're told, "Oh, don't open that door." Door. And life could have been just so much easier. But I was compelled to look more at spirituality, my own spirituality. I was much older, second half of life, needing
Mm.
to come to terms with what I had received as a gift, and now I wanted to gift back. I wanted to be in a process where I could deepen my faith, deepen my spirituality, and uh, be in a movement where I could give back as I'm looking towards the tail end of my life, as I'm looking towards
Yeah.
the portal of death. Not to be too gruesome,